Alrighty then, good afternoon all you awesome peoples. Silver Dragon here, coming at you with a little bit of a news segment for Masterwork Dwarf Fortress and Dwarf Fortress in general. Now, of course, there has been an announcement recently, which has actually also been covered by Rock Paper Shotgun, cough, which is a little surprising to me that they're interested. Well, I guess I should be, part of me is surprised, part of me is not, because DF is just one of those games that has been around for so long that people has its, like, you know, its specific cult following that just loves it and just have been adamant about it for so long. But after 2 years, essentially, next month, well, I should say it is June, so early July, next month, the vanilla update for Dwarf Fortress will be released. So we finally will get our update at long last. This includes things like multi-tile trees, like large trees, massive character and adventure mode updates, a lot of just regular Dwarf Fortress updates. One of the main things were, of course, a lot of just like things that your physical things your character can do. Like they'd mentioned that your character could run, you know, start up slowly, then start gaining speed, run, leap into the air, grab onto a branch of a tree, and then swing and let go and do a roll or something along those lines. You know, some crazy thing like that. There are different combat reactions now that are going to be in that now. There's going to be lethal and non-lethal combat and various, you know, calculations as to which could happen. So, you know, a fight, you know, he's drinking at a bar and shit breaks out, you know, might not necessarily start whipping out swords and severing limbs or something. But you could actually, or you walk into a camp of bandits, they could actually just run over and, you know, start fist fighting, as it were, and wrestling, instead of just immediately whipping out swords. And there's a certain point where they would, you know, okay, just whip out the swords and engage, or maybe disengage and go back to fists. There's different kinds of reactions where they will surrender or other similar methods along those lines. There's just so much can be updated to that it's ridiculous. You know, there's the possibility of armies wandering around the map now, taking over towns. You could have like a goblin army that takes over a town and enslaves the people, and you can come along and maybe free them from that, or God knows what else from that. There's just so much being added to it. I'm sure I will post the list down below for those that have already read Rock, Paper, Shotgun. They've already, you know, led to the Future of the Fortress update that mentioned some of the features that are going to be added into vanilla. Either way, there's a lot being added, and I am greatly looking forward to trying it out, especially a lot of the adventure mode stuff. I can't wait to dive into it, as it should be quite interesting if I can actually survive for once. I played quite a bit of Dwarf Fortress adventure mode, you know. I've gotten, oh god, I hate sewers in towns so bad. There's such a pain in the ass to find the entrance and then get in there. It's just, kills me. But, yeah, I've gotten lost in caves for a long time. It's kind of hilarious. I spent all this time getting down into this cave and following this cave system around, only to find out that the creature had already died when I got there, and then I had no indicator that would show me the way out of the cave, so I was screwed. Oh man, it's funny like that. But yeah, either way, there's a lot that's been added to Dwarf Fortress, as well as Masterwork Dwarf Fortress has now been updated to version 5, coming off of version 4i, I believe, no, version 4j was the last update, the one I'm currently running. So we're going to also be discussing some of the changes here for this, and of course later today, more than likely in the next like 30 minutes for me, I will be recording the next episode for the Masterwork Dwarf Fortress, and seeing how that goes. Anyway, Masterwork Dwarf Fortress has been updated to currently 5.2, so there has been 3 updates total since the last time I actually looked at it. And of course, you're seeing right here that it uses DF 34.11, because obviously they're going to be changing it up soon. I'm assuming 35 or whatever kind of, you know, release title Toadie's going to add to it. We'll have to find out. Anyway, it shows the description of Masterwork. It's all the typical stuff. They have changed their whole little profile here as to where the forum. They changed it around here so that get a good look at all the new stuff. The GUI has been changed up a little bit. Better descriptions of everything that's involved in Masterwork Dwarf Fortress. We have the dwarves, these are all the races for them, and the thread leading to the various ones, the GUI thread, dwarf thread, and so on. Gnomes are a new one that was added a while back. I did kind of try them out, but I couldn't, they were still a little underdeveloped at the time, and I couldn't really figure them out as much. Of course, you have the regular dwarves, master smiths, craftsmen. You all know about them. You've seen me play it enough. You get the general gist of dwarves. Gnomes, they're small, nature-bound, tech-loving gnomes with hats. They build large assortments of special clothing and armors. Allow animals to join your fort. They get info from birds, such as caravans or raids that are coming to attack their fortress. They would get info from them that way. War beasts are for free. They use the power of steam, pressure, electricity, heavily trapped mechanism, machine-based play, indirect combat for the win. They can call caravans, allies, and migrants through telegraphs. They can build fully automatic factory lines and dynamos. Excavation site and drilling rig are used for smart digging. We have the orcs, proud warriors, pirates, orcs. They are actually stronger than dwarves as warriors. Excuse me, a lot stronger than dwarves. 4-element-based Dreamwalker mages mass-produce cheap gear for a fully militarized fort. So everyone is, everyone arms up and goes into combat in that sense. Or handmade finest warrior society gear, combinations of weapons, raid other races and come back with free workers. Buy and sell goods in the caravanserai or shadow broker. Fire up some experimental explosive satchels and cannons. Train combat skills with a Blood Brawl in the Blood Brawl Championship or Blood Bowl Championship. Blood Brawl. I guess it'd be the same thing. They're orcs after all. Blood Bowl, Blood Brawl. It's essentially the same thing. Kobolds, of course, we have seen some of previously. Greedy little thieves, as it were. Fast breeding race of tiny, not so smart bolds. They fight with pointy sticks and makeshift bows. They steal technology and trinkets from other races. They live under the protection of giant ogres, which adopt the bolds, which is funny. It's usually the other way around, but the ogres actually adopt the kobolds. Anyway, smoke shirkas, meditate in the sweat lodge to talk to your totem, That's for the spiritual side of kobolds. Tend to your rats. Rat shepherds are highly welcome. So one of their main sources of food, and I believe all they eat is actually meat. Like, I believe raw meat, if I'm not mistaken. And the main thing they get it from is rats, which breed very, very, very quickly. Warlocks, of course, we've already seen a lot of. I've already done a whole series on them. And, well, we failed horribly in the end, but still, that was a damn shame. Anyway, moving on, we have a new race that was being added in. And I will be getting more details on this later. The succubi, or succubi, whatever it is. Either way, the lovely demon women, as it were, Wow. But anyway. Charming yet deadly, seductive succubi are from the underworld. Tentacle monsters, hellhounds, nightmares are at your command. Charm, capture prisoners, let them join your civ. Summon new allies through the dark rituals. Learn new abilities in Temple of Sin or Well of Souls. Wrath, lust, and madness interactions. Essentially, this is somebody trying to recreate Dungeon Keeper in Dwarf Fortress, from what I understand of what I've read of the thing. Soul Forge, used for life force of fallen foes for new abilities. Make crafts from glass, gems, and flesh and skin. And one of the ones that are planned and being worked on, of course, is the humans. They are also being planned and worked on. Neutral and cautious, humans thrives on trade and alliances, build great castles above ground, surrounded by farms, open quarries, help avoid the darkness underground. Caravans rule from, caravans from all races are welcome, be it dwarf, elven, or goblin. Guilds rule by commerce, or rule the commerce. Specialize your workers. Black powder outranges everything. Muskets and cannons protect. So that's actually, somebody has asked me before, are muskets and cannons and, the hand cannons and stuff like that good? Because we've been able to trade and buy and use them for a long time. Like, what's the difference between them and bows? I personally preferred bows just because, it's a simple weapon. It's easy to get the ammunition for it. And in that sense, it's my preference. But it seems like the reasoning behind the muskets and such is that it has a longer range and also has, pretty decent penetration power, I'm sure. I'm not sure exactly the exact specifications of them, but it seems like they do quite well for that. Anyway, peasants keep dogs, sheep, cows, farm barley and grapes, while knights fight for honor and duty. Cough, if I could actually read properly now, it seems. So yeah, those are being worked on, or they're a little planned and worked on in the future here, which will be nice. Now, I actually don't know what he's going to do when it comes to converting this. It's probably going to be a couple of months after the vanilla release, once it becomes a stable release, that they'll start working on integrating Masterwork into it. God knows if they even can with all the coding they put in. Anyway, let me scroll on down through all the changes here. See if I can find... That's version 4i. Here you go, version 5.0. New version number because the new race has been added. The Succubi Boltgun is working on merging his Dungeon Keeper inspired mod of Leather Corsage and Madness into Dwarf Fortress. It's not fully done yet, but as such projects are never are. But you can activate them and try them out in the GUI. Okay. In addition to a crash fix, Digging Invaders got an update by EXPWent or EXPW Next or something like that. Anyway. And should be fine now. Just to be extra careful, it is disabled by default now. I would rather be very grateful if the testers would want to try it out. Digging Invaders, of course, can dig under your walls and into your fortress through the ground, possibly through caves, from caves into your fortress, which definitely adds a greater level of risk to it and fun for all those that are into all that fun stuff. So I would actually be interested in trying that out. Anyway. Added some people, as some people have noticed, he locked the old threads and just create a couple specialty ones. Anyway, new utility has been added, Picture Fort. It loads or creates images and converts them into CSV files for Chroma Fort, README included. I'm assuming that you can create some kind of picture and it would, you could build it or dig it out in-game from that. Just like creating a blueprint. In that sense, although I have not personally messed with Chroma Fort myself, so I would not be an expert on that at all. Anyway, moving down for that. In-game changes are just a few for now. Removed the Dwarven Legion and Embassy reactions to call for them. They did, however, add a reaction which intrigues me, to say the least. To ask for public opinion. It will tell you the most common negative thought of your dwarves. Your people are most complaining about this, was caught in the rain recently. So that way you can figure out, what are people the most unhappy about right now in the fortress. And be able to solve that problem. So I really, really like that addition. That's a nice addition. Add a Dwarven immigration script. Unhappy dwarves might now pack up and leave. Might take their family and pets with them, which is definitely intriguing, because before the only way a dwarf could leave your fortress was through death. Or capturing, kidnapping from, children and such. Default is a little immigration. But you have 4 choices in the embassy. Little, moderate, and a lot. Immigrating dwarves will turn friendly and leave around the time the next caravan will leave. So they might hang around their meeting area for a bit. Fixes removed the broodling, bloodling, burstling, fireling, and iceling. They were leftovers in the raws. Oh, I see. Updated gnomes to the latest version, done by Indigo Phoenix. Added plastic alloys. Enemy war beasts can be converted using the recruit all reaction. Interesting. Fixed the thunder coil mixing head strap bugs. Fixed reactions, machine floating item bugs. So various bugs and fixes for that. Creature healing no longer regenerates limbs. Makes sense. Added bolt gun succubi, of course. They're work in progress. GUI fixes and changes done by splitters. Added new DF launch icon. Fixed bad pet reactions in a dwarf file. Fixed succubi support for next release. Updated export. Began adding support for checking all the options on load. Yada yada yada. Fixed the DF full heal script. Changed the way digging, raising are toggled in the DF hack in it to fully disable and enable the plugin. So it's just a whole lot of fixes in general here for this. All the world gen templates can be saved, loaded with profiles. This is an optional controlled with a checkbox. The profiles tab basically saves everything in world gen text into a single line on the profile. Ooh, very nice. You can restore all defaults required by the original file. Nice. Alright, moving up to that. Where's the other one? I know there was the one fix. I'm not sure if I can see it here. Did I skip past it? Maybe not. Let me check up top here at the next one. So version 1 of the release, version 5.01. Ammo cleanup. Remove the bullet spike crates and trading. Delete items, item ammo shard succubus. Replace them with succubus thing with the orcs one, because ammo types were very similar. So basically they were, it's the whole reason why Masterwork Dwarf Fortress is so good here, is because they limit the amount of items the game really has to process throughout it. So any time, it's like one race arrow was the exact, or close enough to the other race's arrow, so they just combined it as one arrow. and replaced it. Replaced all Dark Moon arrows and hooked arrows with bodkin arrows because the ammo types are very similar. See what I mean? Removes the sling bullets with bullets, same as they're used in muskets. So you can now use regular bullets for either a musket or for a sling. Makes perfect sense, and it helps. This is why you get about 75 percent better FPS in with this game than you would for vanilla, depending. Lower the size of javelin ammo to 300, making them less valuable and less dangerous. Still good ammo though. Removed hammer slings and hammerheads to avoid confusion with the blunt weapon heads you make for 200 weapons. Removed spring-loaded knives and knife blades to avoid confusion with the edge weapon blades that you use for 200 weapons. A knife is not a military skill, so dwarves would not have picked them up automatically anyway. You still have these throwing weapons: spear, mechanized axe thrower, and bolas. And really, how many weapons do we need? Lowered size of the broad hammer and piercing bolts from 150 down to 120. Lowered the size of bolas from 400 down to 100. Now I know why they cut off limbs in Cobalt mode so easily. Yeah, that would make sense. It's like you're whipping giant... It's like the tiny kobolds were whipping boulders at people, basically, and tearing off limbs. It should be damaging and bruising limbs, but not ripping off limbs. All ammo is now in item-ammo text, or item_item ammo text. Shield cleanup removed a bunch of shield spikes, dragon shields, enormous shields, full body shields. They were mood artifact only and led to confusion. Oh man, it would have been badass to get a dragon shield though. That would be awesome. Awesome. Removed the inventor workbench ability to replicate these shields. Removed the blocking bracer, kobold mode, replaced it with buckler. Because the items are very similar. Changed the shield evil to shield bladed because it's all called a bladed shield in game. Only used by the drow. All shields are now item shield. So they're definitely changing up a lot. They're optimizing it. This is all what gives the game really good FPS. And, allows it to run that well. Alright, what do we got here? Gloves, clothing cleanup. So this is all the cleanup for shoes and all that. So they're combining various armors and shoes and everything. Weapons. Toys got cleaned up. Changes toy to illumination for the render max buildings. No actual toys remain. Removed mini forges from the raws. Were unused. Candelabras got a proper ID now. Removed 72 mood-only dolls, mostly based on animals and mega beasts. Left 3 of these dolls' entities as mood-only Easter eggs. Nice. Removed unused entries, spinning tops, music boxes, marble sets, toys, all that stuff. Toy mining picks, toy spears. Would have been nice if those actually did train kids. Like if you could equip kids with that stuff and have them train using it as they grew up, then that would actually have been really nice, but I don't think it was ever able to do that. Remove 24 old entities for books, items, including permits and golem hearts, card games, dice, chess sets, all like handcuffs. Oh god. Oh lord, those succubi. What are they into? No. Trap components got cleaned up. Trap spikes, too similar to trap component menacing spike. Removed old commented out entries, rams, stakes. Both upgraded form of them as were all as all the reactions. They were too close to pistons and spikes. Break down wooden trap components in the sawmill. Fix that reaction, which is nice. Remove hidden huge pillar from cobalt mode. Replaced with heavy piston because they are so similar. Food got cleaned up. All food items now are in food_text. I keep thinking food.text. I don't know why. Instruments got cleaned up. Clothing, armor. So I'm going to skip through all this cleanup stuff because we get the general idea at this point about what actually got cleaned up. Weapon training. Added missing training knives training knives and pikes. All training weapons are now item weapon training text. Weapon melee got cleaned up. Range cleanup. Updated druidism for gnomes. Ooh, fixed a few bugs regarding animals being removed from the list when you uncondition them, making demerits from the pet death appear after a year. And made advanced training work by manipulating pet ownership instead of the invisible following unit variable. So it makes it easier to keep track of which animals are following who. Does not mean that the animals can be made the pets of other animals. You can also dismiss pets from the owners or reassign the work animals to new targets. Very nice. Usually when you assign an animal to somebody, like a work animal to someone, it's stuck that way as far as I've seen. Updated the GUI, fixed the raising digging invaders button, fixed the missing files for profiles, world gen, all that good stuff. Updated the therapist, dwarf mode. Remove the biologist lab, remove the catalyst rods. DF hack got some additions. Oh, really? Added embark script, nano and everywhere. Allows you to embark on a 1x1, which you've been able to do before. On the embark selector of the map, you press E, type into the DF hack, DF site nano, or DF site or embark site here. To make it easier, I added hotkeys, Alt N, nano, and Alt E everywhere. So if you wanted to like embark on just a one-tile fortress, you'd use Alt N. If you wanted to embark on a castle or a necromancer tile, you would use Alt E. Okay, suggested add piercing broadhead ammo says default for ammo for dwarves. Means you can make them forged in metal, craft dwarf bone, or carpenter wood. They also would no longer be marked foreign. Also means it can be deleted by the reactions of the Fletcher and the ammo caster. Javelin reactions from the ammo caster could be moved into the heavy siege works. Ooh. And the ammo caster deleted. Meaning either access to the 3 ammo types, easier uniform, hunter settings in the workshops. So nice, some really good additions for that. And of course mentioned the Succubus update. And finally we have the last one, version 5.2, which shows a couple of... it's actually included the refurbishing... Let me go through this whole thing here before I skip through any of it, I guess I should say. How many people actually contributed to the content. So it actually shows everyone who updated this. So there's not just... It's just not just MEP. All these people, this whole community, you know, adds to this. It's kind of like Cataclysm in that sense. You know, the whole community works on this, and then it all gets updated into the actual build itself. Add a few bug fixes for Dwarf mode. Most important is the item tool fix, which has been reported. Both the issues and the fix. And new immigration version has been turned off by default. Yada yada yada. Also includes a few new features. Refurbishing workshops. You can change one workshop to another. Can be used to all kinds of things like tech trees and upgrades. And orientation and changes to the designs. Currently is in only the woodcrafter, stonecrafter, gem cutter, and bone crafter in dwarf mode. As a first test, you can switch between these buildings for free. Please let me know what you guys think about it. Yep. So I'm going to go through this and then explain more about what the hell he's talking about there. Palo updates, track tiles, fix brimstone reaction, fix most opposed to life mounts of invaders, fix Colosseum creature spawns. Nice, I can screw around with the Colosseum now. Now I should make a note here as well that I am still using the version 4J for the LP until I get through it entirely, so we'll have to see how that goes. Updated the icon splash screen, new GUI for duplicate inorganics for good. Oh, so they fixed the GUI. Okay, I see. There we go. Hopefully that'll be good this time. Updated some of the background stuff. And I should mention as well that they did, in this release, fix... I'm not sure if it's mentioned here. It might be. They did finally fix the whole generation issue there, where if you changed your tile set and then your options, it would screw up world gen. They have fixed that, so no more adamantine soil or, you know, runic grass or stuff like that. They did fix that. So that's problem solved. Of course, my fortress will still be like that. So I wasn't the only one. I wasn't special in having, you know, a shit ton of adamantine everywhere. Pretty much everyone that screwed around with the settings got that. So, yeah. Anyway, another GUI fix. Yes. Another Druidism LUA update. Minor bug fixing. Immigration update is now less strong. Value of 100 should be about normal now. 1% chance of leaving if content. 2.4% if unhappy, 10% if very unhappy, 100% if miserable. Very nice for normal. Advanced poison material classes added, so far unused, but more for features in advanced mode will follow. I've never really messed with poisons at all. Like, literally at all. Added upgrade buildings LUA and upgrade items LUA. Added some reactions for buildings, but items is unused so far. Erst Da Vinci added in Pet to Civ, Butchery. This is really cool, actually. This is really cool. Pet to Civ, Butchery Living, and Butchery Dead scripts. Basically, I'm going to skip through all this and kind of just tell you what it does. If you hover over a living animal or a dead animal, say it's a living animal, and you hit K, go over top of it, and open up DF Hack and type in Butchery Living. It'll tell you exactly all the materials you would get from that creature if you butchered it. Like, say, 25 meat, 3 leather, or 5 leather, and, you know, a skull, bones. It would tell you all of that. as well as if you hovered over a dead creature and typed in butchery dead, it would tell you in DF hack what exactly you would get from butchering a dead body, or any corpse in the area there. So I really like that. That is a really, really nice option. I kind of wish it was a default option, like already integrated into the game. Like all you had to do was hover over it and hit like, capital M or something like that. I'm sure that'd be the next step if possible in this regard, but you'd have to code that in. So either way, just the ability to actually do that is really, really nice. Like if you always wonder, I've always wondered, I don't have the time sometimes to look up every single detail of the animals to see what exactly they would give me if I butchered them. So this is an amazing tool to have for people, and I'm quite pleased by that, to say the least. Map updates, set immigration to 0 by default. You'll have to enable it in the embassy. Other races do not immigrate at the moment. Consider the dwarves a test run. Will be ported to other races later. Fixed item tools, a split item tool to 11 smaller files. For example, all books or all loot or all gnomish gizmos have their own files. Increase the price for animated weapons at Embark ×4. Finally, that is a wise thing. Animated weapons are incredibly powerful, especially in the beginning, and they were also incredibly cheap. So you could get them fairly easily in the beginning. So that's actually a really good change. I do approve of that change. Collected all the above mentioned updates and merged them into the mod. New feature, refurbishing workshops. This is an interesting one. The gem cutter, stone cutter, wood carver, and bone carver cannot be refurbished. It basically means that you can use a reaction in these workshops to change one to another. You could, for example, it says change a bone cutter's workshop. Say you run out of bones, you have no use for it for now until you get more stockpiled up. You could then change it to a gem cutter's workshop, which you may need but don't want to have to build a whole new one right now. Click, click, done. Currently, it does not cost anything. The reactions are free, so it's just a quick swap out. This is a test run for many different uses for that specific script, such as new tech trees. Like we could possibly have, a workshop. Say currently we have a workshop that's capable of producing wood goods, stone goods, it's capable of creating, what the hell's it called? Oh god, not string, thread or whatever. Basically it's like you take adamantine and you pull the thread from it in a crafts dwarf shop and then, output it for various uses. Could be that they could make certain research that has to be done or upgrades that have to be done to each workshop in order to unlock certain things like that, which would allow you to refurbish it to a workshop that can suddenly do this or suddenly do that, or have whole new tech trees added into that could be upgraded and added to over time. But anyway, that is all that has currently been updated to this for version 5 and all the other, things coming in the future. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to for both Masterwork and regular Dwarf Fortress. I am greatly looking forward to trying out Adventure Mode, as well as eventually swapping over to this and testing it out. I may do some live streams of this just to test it out and see all these new features and such. And I think I'm going to start working on that more often here, A lot of people aren't really interested in some of the new things like, say, Watch Dogs, or I even did some, WildStar, and people just were not interested in it at all. So more than likely I might just start shifting my focus to these games once again. Like I am doing some more CDDA live again. I may do more Dwarf Fortress. I always wanted to avoid getting burned out on Dwarf Fortress, but considering we have a new version coming soon and this update has been updated, more than likely I will test a lot of this live. And of course RenderMax, I really do like RenderMax. It is really nice, but I just need more lighting to it. I would definitely focus more industries on that, and I need to work better on, perfecting my Dwarf Fortress skills as well. I wing it way too much, Pretty much with everything I do, I don't really do a lot of professional, well-timed, well-edited videos. I just wing it. I just kind of do my thing in that sense. And you guys get my complete, unedited, and, fully versed and derped up insanity, as it were. So, in that sense. Anyway, that should be about it. We've covered pretty much everything there is to cover for this right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little news update. It has gone a little long. I'm about to hit the 30-minute mark. And, yeah, definitely looking forward to this. We'll have to see what happens in the future for Dwarf Fortress here. Well, the soon-to-be future, as it were. And give it a try ourselves. Peace out, everybody. Have a great one. Thank you very much for watching. You guys rock. Peace. Peace out.